much. Don, that was very enlightening. Thank you very much. And Jeff, that was difficult greatness. I will say this, it's really cool and great to be back in New York, even if it's for a day. I got in here yesterday and I thought, wow, I'm really not used to this now that I'm living down in North Carolina. But am I going to be able to cope with the way things are running here in this town? But I woke up this morning, I look out my window and they're filming Good Morning America downstairs, and I can see the set and the people are running around and the coffee's flowing, and I'm thinking, I kind of miss this stuff. But anyway, I'm going to try and be brief. I have problems with that at times, but I'll certainly try today, and I just want to give you a few ideas of what's going on with this stuff and why it's bad news. I'll tell you first off, even these illegal steroids, they work. We all know they make muscles larger, bigger, and in the cases where they lift and work out in conjunction with using them, they make you stronger. They don't always make you stronger, but in conjunction with exercise they do. But they're illegal, and they're harmful, and I'm going to show you and tell you how bad they are and how bad they can be. But they do work. Why are they hiding them? Why are the kids hiding them? The adolescent group, which we're focusing on today, and that's our main focus with this and this survey, is because they know they're illegal. They're emulating. They're getting all the news about the pro guys and what's going on and how they got to where they are, who got scholarships and who didn't get scholarships, who looks good for the girls in the high school, who's getting all the dates. It's the big guys, the muscle boys, and that's what they're doing underground. They're taking illegal steroids. You would not believe what some of these bootleggers are using to put these things together. It's mind-boggling. I'm just on the fringe of learning myself. Used motor oil, animal fat, all kinds of garbage. And the two main places these kids are getting this stuff, or the most prevalent ways to obtain them, are on the street, with the bootleggers on the street, and in the internet. That's basically the two main areas where they're getting them. A word about some stats before I get into what I think is some of the really harmful effects. You know, it's well into the 90 percentile group of American adults right now, and I know you're getting hit with a lot of numbers, but almost above 9 out of 10 adults know and feel, they may not pay a lot of attention to it, that illegal anabolic steroids can have a negative effect on one's health, especially the children as they're growing. But less than half of adults, less than half of them, can even explain or tell you or describe one negative result of taking steroids. That, well, they're just harmful, but I can't really get into it because I don't really know, but I've been taught and learned that they're harmful. So we're going to go over a couple of those things today. It may be of interest to note to you that in the educational process of this is what we're trying to push for now in this country. Right now, in the statistical analysis of some of this stuff, we found that teachers in middle school and high school that teach about anabolic steroids and their harmful effects, 2/3 of the kids that hear this from their teachers can go out and name deleterious effects. Coaches who have their sport teams or their physical education classes, and coaches who preach this, coaches who take some time, no matter if it's 5 minutes a week, to explain this kind of stuff, 3/4 of their students, unlike the adults, 3/4 of their students can come out and tell you, this is bad for your heart, it's bad for your liver, it's bad for your kidneys. I know that. So education is paramount here, it really is. Steroids, as I said, are hidden. People take them, kids take them, adults take them, and you don't even know they're taking them. It's hard to detect if you're a coach or a teacher or a parent. It's difficult to detect this. It's not like it's not like marijuana or any of the opiates, the ecstasies, or the alcohol that these kids are doing. We all know those are problems, but this is completely unlike that, because this is a month to a 4.5 month process, and sometimes they'll stack 1 or 2 of these things on top of each other, and they don't know what they're doing. All they know is they got a good price. Their buddies are doing it, the girls are liking them, and the cheerleaders, the girls that are indulging in this, are making the teams. They're stronger. They don't mind flying through the air. Mindful, this is a small percentage. We're not so sure how small it is, and that's why we're here. The heart. To me, your heart is the biggest victim. We all know from grade school and high school that there's 4 chambers in the heart. And the left ventricle on the left-hand side of the heart is usually the largest chamber of the heart, and it's responsible for pumping all the blood out to the systemic parts of your body. The blood goes into the right side, and goes from the right atrium into the right ventricle, goes out to the lungs, gets some oxygen, comes back into the left side, goes through the left atrium into the left ventricle, and the left ventricle pumps the blood out with fresh oxygen to all the muscles and tendons and all the stuff in your body. Well, steroids increase muscle size, but it also increases your heart muscle size. And when the left ventricle gets hypertrophic, in other words, it gets larger, it gets more dense, it's not pumping as much blood out. And in the resting stage of your heartbeat, the diastolic stage, remember that lower number? It's not, when it contracts and then relaxes, it's not filling up with enough blood to put out as much as it's supposed to the next beat. So what happens? The heart beats faster and faster and faster and faster. In the course of steroids, some people taking steroids 8 to 10 to 12, 14, 20 years of their life, your heart rate stays up, your heart gets very, very large, and you start having problems with your heart conductive system, and she doesn't want to work. He's throwing out less blood than you need in your muscles and in your other organs of your body. Think of it like you're on a farm. I live down by a lot of farms now in North Carolina. They still have some of these wells out there where you pump a well. You got your own well water. Well, you know, if you pump that thing real fast, you're not going to get more water. You're going to get less water. And that's what happens in the heart. You pump real fast, it's not getting a chance to relax and grab some more water and bring it out the spigot. You're getting little spurts. But if you take your time and do a slow rhythmic beat, you'll get a good flow. You'll get a good flow of blood. You'll get a good flow of water. When a heart rate is down and low through training, and not through this artificial, ridiculous way we're going about, or some of these kids are going about increasing the size of their body, not thinking about their heart, they're doing a tremendous amount of damage. You end up with disease, and you end up with conduction study, nerve conduction study, and you end up with heart failure. It's like a race car, and I love race cars now. That's why I moved to North Carolina. I'm into racing. I think my second career just started. I'm going to live to be 150. I'm going to do 40 more years doing NASCAR guys, stuff like that. But you know, if you have a race car out on the racetrack and it's running 900 horsepower on a race, we're going to Talladega this week, and you're going 210 miles an hour. It's like the blood in your heart. If you only got half the oil in the crankcase of that car, what's going to happen? The car's going to, big puff of white smoke, the engine's going to blow, and you're done. That's exactly what happens to these kids. Not necessarily when they're young, but when they get older. You also end up with water retention, hypertension or high blood pressure, high triglycerides, high cholesterol in the blood, you got fat in your blood, and clotting disorders. The kidneys